Hello everyone. Today we'll be continuing the electrostatics part 2, and we were studying the branch of physics electrostatics. Electrostatics Electrostatics stands for electro means electric and statics means rest. In mechanics we had seen that mechanics had three subparts: statistics, kinematics and dynamics. In statistics the bodies were at rest. At kinematics, the body were in motion, and we were not studying the cause of the motion. We were only studying about the motion. The motion is happening or not. And in dynamics, we were mainly focused to the cause of motion, why and how it is happening. So here we have started the branch of physics, electrostatics, and electro means electric and statics means rest. So electrostatics, and we have covered the part 1 of electrostatics. So if you have missed that part, you can go to the description box and you'll be finding the link there, and I'll have provided the part 1's notes in the PDF form in the description of part 1, so you can go and see it. So we make a very quick revision of the part 1. So here we start. And one more thing I would like to say, that it's a disclaimer that in this branch of physics you will be dealing with a lot of formulas. Maybe there'll be 15 to 25 formulas you'll have to learn up, because you might not know where which formula will be helping you, or in the question which formula can help you to come out with the solution of it. So we start. So in the part 1 we had discussed, in an atom we have electron, proton and neutron. In electron, the electron has a negative charge, the proton has positive charge, and electron has no net charge. Neutron has no net charge, and electron has negative charge, and proton has a positive charge. The mass of neutron the mass of neutron is, first we will just revise once again. In an atom we have electron which is negative charge, the proton which has positive charge, and neutron which has no net charge. Okay, so the mass of proton is 1.673 into 10 to the power minus 27 kg, and the neutron's mass is slightly more than proton, which is 1.67 into 1.675 into 10 to the power minus 27 kg, and the mass of electron is 9.11 into 10 to the power minus 31 kg. So the next part is electric charge. Now electric charge is an interesting property of protons and electrons, and it has two types of charges, positive and negative. So we have discovered, like it's been discovered till now, that we had discovered only the positive and the negative charge. So electric charge has two types of charges, positive and negative. The SI unit of electric charge is coulomb. The value of E is 1.6 into 10 to the power minus 19 coulomb. Charge is a scalar quantity, and it has two types, positive and negative. Like charges repel and unlike charges attract each other. If we have two charges like positive and positive, then they will repel, and if it's negative, then they will attract. Okay, so we have now charge is quantized. The quantum of charge is E. Q is equal to plus minus Ne. N is integer, can be 1 comma 2 comma 3. Charge on a body can never be 1 by 3e, 1.5e, etc., because charge is quantized. Okay, charged particle at rest produces electric field. A charged particle in an unaccelerated motion produces both electric and magnetic field but do not radiate energy. Now the charged particle which is unaccelerated produces both electric and magnetic fields, and the charge which is accelerated, they produce both electric and magnetic fields, and they radiate energy. They radiate energy in form of electromagnetic waves. So accelerated charged particles radiate energy in form of electromagnetic waves, and both has electric and magnetic fields, and the unaccelerated motion produces both electric and magnetic field but do not radiate energy. Now we have Coulomb's law. Coulomb's law says that the electrostatic force is K Q1 Q2 by R square. The value of K is 9.0 into 10 to the power 9. K equal to 1 by 4 pi epsilon naught, where epsilon naught value is 8.854 into 10 to the power minus 12. and the epsilon naught is permittivity of free space, and epsilon is k into epsilon naught, and epsilon is permittivity of the medium. In the respect of speed of light, the value of k is 10 to the power minus 7. Okay, the part 1 notes and the video link is given in the description box, so please go and check out. And the part 2's notes you will be finding in the description box in the PDF form. Okay, so now we'll be first understanding what are the things, and then we'll be reading the theory parts of it. So electric field, we take two charges. Okay, it is said that the two charges will, the q1 and q2. Okay, we are taking just q1 and q2, ignore whatever sign it is. So these two cannot directly, they cannot directly interact with each other in a distance r. So for interacting between each other, they produce electric field. Okay, to interact, they produce electric field, and this is called electric field. Okay, so two charges are there. Okay, and they cannot interact each other directly. So to interact between each other in this given distance r, they produce electric field, and this field is called the electric field. And the electric field is also called the electric field strength in the vector form. In vector form we say it electric field strength. In the vector form, the electric field's vector form, we say E electric field energy, electric field strength, and the in scalar form we say V electric potential. Okay, now the point comes electric field strength. In electric field strength is a vector quantity. Okay, so we come to the electric field strength. So electric field strength is a vector quantity, so it will have a direction, and its direction is same as the Fe, the electrostatic force. Now what is electrostatic force? Suppose this is q1 and this is q2. Okay, and this is the distance r. So the force of the electrostatic force we can write as Fe is equal to k q1 q2 by r square. Okay, the vector form we keep it in mod. So and the value of k we can take 4 pi epsilon naught, or we can also take 9.0 into 10 to the power 9. All right, so the direction will be as same of the Fe. So if this is the direction of Fe, then this will be the direction of E. Now if the charge is positive, then the electric field strength or the electric field direction will be radially outwards. Okay, and when it's negative, then it will be radially inward. Okay, so we have the SI unit is Newton per coulomb. Look, Newton is the force and the coulomb is the q naught. Okay, and the formula of E is equal to Fe by q naught, and we need to take care of this, that q naught should be infinitesimally small so that it does not disturb the other charge which are producing the E. Okay, so because of this reason we need to keep q naught as infinitely small so that it does not disturb the other charges, okay, who are producing E, the electric field. Okay, so you just go through the notes which is written here. So all I have listed all of the points, and here we have also get to see that the electric field can also be visualized graphically in terms of lines of force, and it can be graphically represented in the x and y coordinates. Okay, everything is given here, and you can go and read the notes given in the description, and you will be finding them all. Now comes the electric field leads to a force. Suppose there is an electric field strength E at some point in an electric field, then the electrostatic force of acting on the, okay, so in an electric field leads to the force, we get to see here that if the charge is positive, okay, then the F is equal to QE, and the direction will be along the direction of E. It will be in the direction of E. Okay, and if the charge is negative, then the direction will be opposite of E. Okay, this is the thing in an electric field leads to a force. Okay, where we take force is equal to QE, and if the Q is positive, then it is in the direction of E. If it's negative, then it's in the opposite direction of E. Okay, here we have a numerical where we just need to take out the thing. So an electric field is this: points you to west to a certain spot. What are the magnitude and direction of the force that acts on the charge of plus 2 and plus and minus this? So we'll easily be taking out the electric field, the value is given and the Q is given, and here we'll just note that when the value is positive, it will be along the direction of E, and when it's negative, then it will be opposite to the direction of E. So this will be in west and this will be in east. Now comes the point: electric field due to a point charge. Electric field produced by a point charge can be obtained in general terms from the Coulomb's law. Okay, so in the when it's a point charge, then we take that Fe is equal to 4 pi epsilon naught q naught by r square. And we see here that what is the formula of E is equal to Fe by q naught. So if we will put here 1 by epsilon naught and we just change it to E, okay, then we'll see this q naught is cancelled. So what is the E is equal to 1 by 4 pi epsilon naught into q by r square. Alright, so this is the formula of electric field due to point charge. I again say you that you need to remember some formulas, like many formulas in this branch of physics. So yeah, it's continue. So if the Q is positive, E is directed away from Q. Here, as I said you that when it's a positive charge, then E will be radially outward. Okay, and when it is negative, then it will be radially inward. Okay, when it's negative, then it will be radially inward. All right, and the E net, like suppose we have Q1. So of course a charge will produce an electric field, we say E1, and we have Q2 and it will produce E2. Okay, what will be the net? So the net will be E net is equal to E1 plus E2, the vector form of addition. Okay, here we have a question: the two positive point charges Q1 16 mu c and the Q2 is 4 are separated in a vacuum by a distance of 3 meter. Find the point of the line between the charges where the net electric field is 0. So in the question we assume that we have two charges. Okay, we have two charges, okay, Q1 and Q2, and we just like बोलता नहीं है, मान लो कि at this point we just assume that at this point the electric field will be 0, the E net will be 0. Okay, the E net will be 0. So at this point the E net will be 0, and this distance is R1, this distance is R2, whole distance is 3 meter, which is R. So we get to know that R is equal to R plus R2, okay, which is 3. We get one equation from here. Now at P we get to see that E1 is equal to E2. Now the direction, this is positive and this is 2 positive. We know that when it's a positive, then it will go radially outward. We know that. So the E2's radially outward. So E2, Q1's radially outward. So E1. Understanding? Q1's radially outward will be at this direction. So E1, Q2's radially outward will be in this direction. So E2. Now we have at P position, we have E1 is equal to E2. What is the formula of E? E is equal to Fe by Q naught. So E1 is equal to 1 by 4 epsilon naught into Q naught R square into 1 by Q naught is equal to 1 by 4 epsilon naught into Q. This will be Q1, this will be R1, and this will be Q2 and Q naught by R2 square into 1 by epsilon naught. So here we will be seeing that 1 by 4 epsilon naught and 1 by 4 epsilon naught gets cancelled. The Q naught and the Q naught gets cancelled here. So we get to see that Q1 R1 square is equal to Q2 R2 square. So R1 by R2 is equal to root over Q1 by Q2. The value of Q1 is 16 and the value of Q2 is 4. So we get to here 4 root over, which is 2 meter. So we get that R1 by R2 is equal to 2. This is equation 2. Now from the equation 2 we get to know that R1 is 2R2. So putting it here we get that R3R2 is equal to 3 meters. So R2 is equal to 1. So R2 is 1 meter. Of course R1 will be 2 meter. So we get to know that at R1, which is 2 meter, this is 2 meter and this is 1 meter, at Q1's from 2 meter to Q2's from 1 meter, at this point E is 0. This was the question. Okay, you can see here. So we took out everything and then we came out with the answer that thus the point at a distance of 2 meter from Q1 and 1 meter from Q2, the E is 0. Okay, now we come to the point electric field of a ring of charge. So here in the ring we have see that in the whole of ring the Q charge is flowing. Okay, Q charge is flowing and we took a very small charge dl comma dq and the radius and the x distance, and at this point P, so we take out the r, the hypotenuse. It is forming a right angle triangle, so hypotenuse is r square plus x square. Okay, and the DE, so if this is DE, see here, so this is the thing, so it forms an angle theta. Okay, see here, it forms an angle theta at P point. So this is the theta, so vertically opposite angles. All right, so we take out two components. First we will be taking नामकरण कर लो एक्सिस का, x axis and y axis. So DEX is DE cos theta and DEY is DE sin theta. We will be seeing that at y axis the E is 0. This is completely 0 and we have an electric field at DX. Okay, and this is equal to DE cos theta. Okay, so this was the resultant DE and this is DY. So DY is 0. Okay, DEY is 0 and DE, the formula of DE is 1 by 4 pi epsilon naught QX. We integrated and we take out the formula. I'll be showing you how it took out, and x square plus r square by 3 by 2. So we got to know that at DEY it is 0 and DEX is not 0. Okay, so the electric field of a ring of a charge at it is only calculated in the x axis. Okay, and this thing whole it just described that at DEY it is 0, the electric field is 0, and in DEX the electric field runs. Okay, now the calculation of EX, you just see this the calculation, and the most important thing if you would be seeing is the formula here, how it came out. You can see it, but most of the time you need to learn these formulas because there are so many formulas that they won't be in your mind. So I'll be posting the formulas chart of this branch of physics, electrostatics, after the completing of the lectures of part of 3 lectures. So after that I'll be putting it. So the calculation of EX, the electric field of a ring charge, the formula is 1 by 4 epsilon naught QX by r square plus x square 3 by 2. Okay, we integrated and then we took out. Okay, now we take some cases here. Okay, the cases are that may at Ex equal to 0, when Ex is 0 at x equal to 0, then the field is 0 at the center of the circle. Okay, at the center of the circle the Ex is 0 when x is equal to 0. Okay, and then the second condition is that Ex is 1 by 4 epsilon naught dot Qx0 when x is very much greater than r, where we can really neglect the r, then the formula comes out 1 by 4 epsilon naught. That means K, that means when x is very much greater than r, then we can write as Ex is equal to KQR square. Alright, x square. Okay, so easily you can remember these all stuffs. So Ex, when X is very much greater than r, then we can write KQ by x square. Okay, and Ex will be maximum where Dex by dx is equal to 0. Differentiating Ex with respect to x, putting it to equal to 0, we get that x equal to r by root 2, and E max comes out to be 2 root over 3 by k q r square, and we represent in the graphical form. So this we can also write as 2 root 3 by k x q r square. Okay, we can also write in this form. Now comes electric field of a line charge. It is completely same as the ring, where we need to calculate the Ex, the x-axis. The e-axis is 0. Okay, so in the positive charge, this is the completely in running with a q charge. Okay, this is the y, this is the x, and we took out the hypotenuse, x square plus y square. This is the angle formed, vertically opposite angle, so equal the p point, dx, dex and dey. We took out the coordinates which we have decided, and here the dx is equal to de cos theta. This is the base, you see, this is the base, this is the perpendicular. The perpendicular is de sin theta, the base is de cos theta. Okay, now comes the calculation part. So lambda, which is the charge density, so it is equal to the q by the area, so q by 2a. So after these the calculation, we get the magnitude of electric field along the x-axis, which is Ex equal to q by 4 pi epsilon naught, which we can also write q by k x root over x square plus a square. That means that this r, okay, so here we can say that q by k x r, small r. All right, getting me? So here it is that the Ex is equal to q 4 pi epsilon naught x root over x square plus a square. For the above expression, we see that if x is very much greater than a, then we can also write 1 by 4 epsilon naught q by x square. We will simply neglect a. So if this is 0, then it completely just we move it. So q k by q x square. Okay, now comes that if we take the charges longer and longer, then a is very much greater than x, then we take Ex is equal to lambda 2 pi epsilon naught x. Okay, when x is very much greater than a, then the formula is 1 by 4 pi epsilon naught q by x square, and when it's a very much greater than x, then it is Ex lambda 2 pi e epsilon naught by x. Okay, and now, thus the magnitude of the electric field depends only on the distance of point P from the line charge. So we can say that at any point P at perpendicular distance r from the line of direction, the field has a magnitude E equal to lambda by 2 pi epsilon naught r due to infinite line charge. In the ER graph, we also get to know that the electric field is inversely proportional to the radius. Okay, the r. Okay, the direction of E is radially outward from the line. Okay, the direction of E is radially outward. Suppose a charge q, this is the vector form. If the question will be given in the, so where the question, when we have the coordinate stuff, there we will be needing this. Okay, like here I have set a question here where it says the question is given in the vector form. So this will be provided in the notes. Then you can see there that we just took out the rq, the rp in the vector form, and we put it in the E equal to k q1 and the r and the rp minus rq. Okay, so we got our answer. So this is when we get a question in the vector form, then we'll be needing this formula, which is E equal to 1 by 4 epsilon naught q rp minus rq to the power 3. This is mod, okay, and rp minus rq, this is the vector form, okay. And like this, we'll be taking out the rp and the rq. In this equation, q is to be substituted with the sign. All right, so in the vector form, when we have to solve it in the coordinate stuff, then we will be needing this. When it's the numericals, then we'll be needing these all formulas. Now we come to the point electric field lines. It indicates the strength of the field and gives the direction at various places. So the electric field lines indicates the strength of the field and it gives the direction at the various places. Field lines, a concept introduced by Michael Faraday. So this is the man who introduced the concept of the field lines. An electric field line or curve drawn through a region of space so that it's tangent at any point. So basically the electric field at any point, okay, at any point, if we take this as electric field line, if any point we take out, so we get the tangent will give us the direction of the E. So this is electric field lines benefits, that this is the electric charge at any point. If we take a tangent, so the tangent will give us the direction of E, the electric field. So electric field lines have some following properties. The tangent to a line at any point gives the direction of the E at the point, as I said. So this is also the path on which the positive test charge will tend to move if free to do so. Electric field lines always begin on a positive charge and ends on a negative charge and do not start or stop in mid-space. So we got to know that the electric field line starts from the positive and it ends in negative. The number of lines leaving a positive charge or entering a negative charge is proportional to the magnitude of the charge. This means that if 100 lines are drawn leaving +4, the charge, then 75 lines would end on a -3u. So the number of lines leaving a positive charge or entering a negative charge is proportional to the magnitude of the charge. Two lines can never intersect. It will happen then two tangents can be drawn at their point of intersection. That is, intensity at the point will have two directions, which is absurd. Okay, so the two lines will never intersect. Okay, they won't intersect. In a uniform field, the field lines are straight, parallel and uniformly spaced. As here we saw that the two lines can never intersect, they will run parallelly. So here in uniform field, the fields are straight and parallel and the uniform spaced. We will see that there is a uniform space between them. Okay, in the positive charge, the E is radially outward. In negative, it is radially inward, and the charge starts from positive and it ends in negative. Now we have that the electric field lines can never form closed loops, as a line can never start and end on the same charge. Okay, it can never form closed loops, as a line can never start and end on the same charge. As we said that the line travels from positive to negative, it won't start and end at the same charge. Okay, electric field lines also give us an indication that the equipotential surface which has same potential, the equipotential surfaces have same potentials. Okay, so the line also give us an indication of the equipotential surfaces. Electric field lines always flow from higher potential to lower potential. So the field lines always flow from higher potential to lower potential. In a region where there is no electric field, lines are absent. This is why inside a conductor where electric field is 0, there cannot be any electric field line. Where there is no electric field, there will be no electric field line. When E is 0, then there will be no electric field line. Electric line of force ends or starts normally from the surface of a conductor. So we get to know that the electric line of force ends and starts normally from the surface of a conductor. Now comes the point electric potential energy. This is basically the electric potential energy is basically the work done from a charge to bring a charge to one charge from the another charge. Okay, so when a charged particle moves in an electric field, exerts a force that can do work on the particle. This work can always be expressed in terms of electric potential energy. It is the work done by the charge. And what is the work done? Work done is equal to force into displacement. So we can also write that work done into force of displacement. The displacement is equal to the electric potential energy, which is delta U, the U1 and the U2. Okay, just as gravitational potential energy depends on the height of a mass, this was in gravitation chapter. So the same concept, that just as gravitational potential energy depends on the height of a mass above the Earth's surface, the electric potential energy depends on the position of the charged particle in the electric field. When a force F acts on a particle that moves from a point A to B, the work from A to B done by the force given as, alright, as I said you. So in simple MCQ questions or somewhere where you will have a question, then these things will really help you what really depends on the electric potential energy. So please go to the notes after watching the video. So where ds we have took an infinitely small displacement. Okay, so if F is conservative, the F force is conservative, the work done by the F can always be expressed in terms of potential energy U. When the potential moves from a point where the potential energy is UA to a point where it is UB, the change in potential energy is delta U equal to UB minus U. I said you in the starting that the total work done is equal to the change in potential energy. These things were all in work power energy chapter in class 11. The change in work done is equal to the change in kinetic energy, and the change in work done is equal to change in potential energy. The work done is equal to the change in potential energy. It is denoted, the electric potential energy is denoted by U, and the SI unit is joule. Okay, the electric potential energy. So here the work done is displacing the particle from A to B by the conservative force. Whenever the force done by the conservative force is positive, the potential energy of the system decreases and vice versa. That means that the work done, if it is positive, then the potential energy of the system will decrease, and if the work done is negative, then the potential energy will increase. They are interconnected. Okay, the work done by conservative force is positive and the potential energy of the system decreases. When the work done is negative, then the potential energy will increase. Okay, that's what happens when a particle is thrown upwards and the work done by the gravity is negative and the potential energy increases. When a ball is thrown up, then the gravity is negative and the potential energy increases. Okay, question: a uniform electric field is directed along positive y direction. Find the charge and electric potential energy of a positive test charge q naught when it is displayed in this field y I a and yf, the initial and the final 2a along the x-axis. The electrostatic force of the test charge, okay, F is equal to q naught e naught along the x-axis. So calculating it, the work done is equal to the total minus the total change of kinetic energy. As we saw here, the work done is positive, then the potential energy will decrease, so potential energy will be negative. So we took out the work done. What will the work done? Q naught e naught and the this displacement. This is only the force into displacement. Okay, this is force into displacement. Alright, so we get our answer. The note, the work done by the electrostatic is positive, hence the potential energy will be decreasing. Okay, it will be decreasing. Electric potential energy of two charges. Potential energy at infinity is 0. Okay, potential energy at infinity, from the infinity if we take out like the potential energy at infinity is 0. Okay, so if we made a work done from infinity to a point P, okay, suppose a position is in infinity and there is a position at P. So the work done from making it from P to A, so this work done is 0. So the total work done is UP. This is all trying to show here. Okay, and the work done is the UP. All the work done is done. The work done is Q by Q naught 1 by RA. When we take two bodies, not the infinity, but we take two bodies, like we take here point A and point B. So the work done will be Q naught by 4 pi epsilon naught by the, this is basically the force into the change, the displacement. Simple concept. Work done is equal to force into displacement, which is equal to negative of change in potential energy. So this is this stuff. Q naught by 4 pi epsilon naught 1 by Ra minus Rb. Being a conservative force, this work is path independent. The conservative force will always be path independent. These everything in the chapter work power energy we have been seeing these all concepts, that in the conservative force the work is path independent, so the change in potential energy is equal to the work done, which is q by q naught 4 epsilon naught 4 pi epsilon naught Rb minus Ra. Now please be very careful with here that the internal energy, the internal energy, not the electric potential energy, which is U, it is also called internal energy. This is positive, then the work done will be negative, and the work done is positive, then the internal energy, the electric potential energy is, if this is positive this will be negative, if this is negative this will be positive. All right. We choose the potential energy of the two charge system to be zero when they have infinite separation. This means that the at infinity the electric potential energy is zero. The potential energy when the separation is R, so the UR is, when it is infinity then we can simply neglect it. So the energy is the total, the electric potential energy is, electric potential energy is q naught by 4 pi epsilon naught 1 by R. The question arises, why electric potential energy is a point charge? It is a point charge because it is work done. Okay, we can't take only one point. If the point charge, then we take only one point charge. It is that we have to take two bodies and they make a work done. They make the work done. So we can't take one single point charge. We need to take two charges. One, suppose infinity to P or A to B. So this is the reason we cannot take a point charge, because it is the work done between or by two bodies, two charges. Electric potential of the system of charges. In the system of charges, we simply add up. U net is equal to U1, U2 by 3. So we completely add up. You can see the formula here. So the system of charges, we add up all the internal and all the electric potential energy of these all the charges, and we make it a system of charge, the net charge. Okay, now comes electric potential. Electric potential is the work done per unit charge in bringing the charge from infinity to that point against the electrostatic force. The work done per unit charge from bringing from the infinity to the point charge against the electrostatic force, which means Fe. It is denoted by V and it is a scalar quantity and its SI unit is volt. V is equal to U by U naught. U is equal to U naught by V. Now we come to the point absolute potential at some point. Suppose we take the point charges, so we'll be taking out the change in the V. So the change in V is equal to the work done per unit electric force by Q naught. Okay, so the work done in electric force by Q naught. Okay, you are seeing here. So the work done by the electric force is equal to the work done by external force is equal to the change in electric potential. Okay, the absolute electric potential at point A in an electric field can be defined as the work done in displacing by a unit positive charge from the infinity to a by the external force on the work done per unit positive charge. Now we need to note that we have the three formulas here. Okay, so this is the very important thing, the absolute potential at some point, that the work done from A to B at electric force is equal to Q naught VA minus VB. The work done in external force, this is the electric force, this is the external force, is Q naught VB minus VA is work done negative of work done A to B of the electric force. So the work done A to B of external force is the equal to the negative work done of the electric force. The work done infinity to A is the external force is equal to the Q naught VA. Here again, when it's infinity, we neglect it and we only take A. Okay, so we take Q naught VA. If it would be anything, then we would take VA minus VB. Okay, electric potential due to a point charge. So the electric potential due to a point charge is V equal to 1 by 4 epsilon naught q by r. Here r is the distance from the point charge and q is the point at which the potential is evaluated. If q is positive, the potential that is produced is positive at all points, and if q is negative, it will produce a potential that is negative everywhere. In either case, v is equal to 0, then r is equal to infinity. V is equal to 0, then r is infinity. As we saw here that if it's the infinity, then we take it as 0. So when v is equal to 0, then the distance is infinity. Okay. Now we come electric potential due to a system of charges. This is the net V. Okay, like we saw in U. So that it is the net. The system of charge, it is the net. So V equal to the net charge 1 by 4 epsilon naught q net by r naught. Okay, where q net is the algebraic sum of all the charges of which the system is made. All the charges in the system present, it is the q net, and it is the algebraic sum. So V is equal to 1 by 4 epsilon naught 4 pi epsilon naught into q net by r naught. Variation of electric potential on the axis of a charged ring. We have discussed earlier that the electric potential at the center of the charged ring, whether the charge uniformly or non-uniformly, is 1 by 4 epsilon naught q by r. At a distance r from the center on the axis of ring is 1 by 4 pi epsilon naught q equal to r square by x square. R square plus r square. Okay, the big R square and the small r square. Electric potential is maximum at the center and decreases as we move away from the center. Electric potential is maximum at the center. And the more we move away from the center, the electric potential decreases, and the more we come close to the center, the electric potential increases. Okay, on the axis, thus the potential varies with distance r as shown in the graph. Okay, so here we get that the v naught is equal to 1 by 4 pi epsilon naught by q r. Okay, now we come to the point electric potential on the axis of a uniformly charged disk. In the charged disk, thus the potential due to the whole disk. So in the electric potential on the charged disk will be, uniform charge will be sigma by 2 epsilon naught x r square plus x square minus x. Okay, this is the whole calculation done. The dq, the area of the strip, is equal to dq, and the sigma 2 pi r dr, the area. So here we get v is equal to the sigma by 2 epsilon naught r square plus x square minus x. At the center of the disk at x equal to 0, the v center, we know that at center the electric potential is maximum, and which is sigma r by 2 epsilon naught. For x very much greater than r, then we use the binomial expansion and we get v is equal to q 4 pi epsilon naught x. Okay, as pi r square sigma is equal to q, the total charge on the disk. So v is equal to q 4 pi epsilon naught x, where x is very much greater than r. The potential on the edge of the disk, is this. So here we get the electric potential on the edge of the disk, which is v is equal to sigma r by pi epsilon naught. Okay, at the edge in sense it will be minimum. Okay, the electric potential, more you come to the center, you come close to the center, the electric potential increases. The more you go away from the center, the electric potential decreases, and at the center the electric potential is maximum. Okay, so comparing v center and v, so we get that the v center of the disk is greater than the potential at the edge. As we saw in the earlier, that the more we come close to the center, the electric potential is increasing, and the more we go away from the center, the electric potential is decreasing. So at the center, the electric potential is the maximum, as we discussed earlier in the video. So here we get the edge is a sigma r by pi epsilon naught, and the electric potential of the uniform disk is v is equal to sigma 2 epsilon naught r square plus x square minus x. Okay, so we got, and we compared, then we found that v center is the electric potential at center is maximum. Okay, please remember the formulas. I'll be making the formulas chart list. Don't worry about it. But still, looking at the notes, try to learn the formulas. Now we take a question here that we take out the VP. So find out the points on the line joining the charges plus Q and minus 3Q kept at a distance where electric potential is 0. So we take out, and we after taking out, the let P be the point on the axis, either you left or the right charge plus Q. So we get the two values. So thus the potential will be 0 at point P on the axis, which is either 0.5 to left or 0.25 at right. We took out the electric potential. The same, just putting the formula, we get the R. Okay, the R, we get the R, the put the values and we get the R, and from left we will have to do 0.5 meter, from right 0.25 meter. So here we complete the electrostatics part 2. Okay, the electrostatics part 2 is completed. The PDF form, it will be provided in the description, and please stay tuned for the rest part, the last part of this electrostatics branch of physics. Okay, basically maybe I'll be covering the part 3 as 3.1 and 3.2. So the last part will be going to come soon. So please stay tuned, and thanks for watching, and do like and share this video if you found it really helpful. Thank you for watching, and please stay tuned for the next part.